What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Dead Rabbit RTA. Alright guys, so the random question of the day is, would you rather have noisy neighbors or nosy neighbors? Let me know what you think right down there in the comments box below. Personally, I'd rather have nosy neighbors because at least with that you can kind of ignore them, you can lock the door, you can close the blinds, you can just kind of hide from them a little bit, whereas with noisy neighbors you really can't escape that unless you're wearing headphones all the time, and otherwise it's just a major distraction. But let me know which one you guys would choose, noisy neighbors or nosy neighbors, right down there in the comments box below. So today we're looking at the Dead Rabbit RTA, designed by, of course, Vape and Heathen and manufactured by Hellvape, with a big huge shout out and thank you going to Hellvape for allowing me to take a look at one of these devices for the purpose of making this video. So I really just fell in love with this device right when I started using it. I feel like Vape and Heathen was always meant to produce the Dead Rabbit RTA. In fact, I like it even more than the Dead Rabbit RDA. So taking a quick look online, this device comes in 8 different color options for you to choose from. You have stainless steel, gunmetal, rainbow, black with white logo, matte full black, purple, gold, and blue, and it's going to run you only $30 to $35 online, which I think is a really good price range for a device like this. And if you guys want to pick one up for yourself, I'll have a link to my website right down there in the description below. That's where you're going to find the product links. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got the Dead Rabbit RTA in its original box, so let's quickly take a look around the packaging, then we'll talk about what's inside. So, pretty basic packaging with this one here. We have the little display window so you can see what you're buying. We have the little kind of Celtic knot going on around this side here. We've got the Dead Rabbit RTA logo, Hellvape and Heathen's logo there, a project by Heathen, and 2mm and 4.5mm right there on the front. On this side here, we have got the Hellvape logo. On this side, we've got a color indication and barcode, some social media info for Hellvape, and on the side here, another Hellvape logo. On the top, we've got some basic features with some nice graphics as well. And on the back, pretty much your standard stuff, all of the features and the contents of the box, designed in the USA with a little bit more company information down there. You have our scratch and check right here, and of course another Dead Rabbit logo. So let's just go ahead and pop off the top real quick, and we'll see what we get inside. First things first, we got this big chunky piece of paper here, which is not a great manual in my opinion, but yeah, maybe that's just me. Honestly, I don't think a manual is really necessary for an RTA, but that's just me. Let's just throw that to the side and never think about it again. We have a Dead Rabbit sticker, which you guys know me, I love stickers. Yay, stickers! And in the box here, we have all of the accessories and that kind of thing. So let's just work this thing out real quick and we'll see what we get inside. We've got a Allen key and a flathead screwdriver. There we go. Some basic tools. We've got the bubble extension glass. There we go. This is the 4.5mm tank. And inside of that, we've got all of the extras. We've got an extra drip tip, a nice black acrylic one. We've got some extra O-rings, a full set of Allen headed screws, and a 510 drip tip adapter right there. So I'm just going to keep this all in the bag and nice and neat. And of course, last but not least, we have the Dead Rabbit RTA. Alright guys, let's talk about the specs. First of all, it's 25mm in diameter. It has a 2mm standard juice capacity, increased to 4.5mm with use of the bubble glass, superior stainless steel construction, Pyrex glass reinforcement, raised 4-post build deck design, spaced underpost for coil lead and wire cutters, no measurements needed, gold-plated positive post, side secured via flathead screws, single or dual coil configuration, dual top side airflow redirects into inner coil chamber, knurled and threaded top fill system, 810 resin wideboard drip tip included, 510 drip tip adapter included, and it's got a 510 connection. Alright guys, so let's break down the Dead Rabbit RTA from top to bottom, starting off with the drip tip up top here. Pretty much your standard resin wideboard drip tip. Nothing too fancy about this thing whatsoever. Friction fit, so no O-ring required. You can see nice wide bore right there on the top, and it follows through all the way to the bottom. And it's kind of on the shorter, stouter side, I suppose, so that's really the only difference. Moving over to the RTA itself, we have the O-ring in the top lip here, and that fits other drip tips as well. So I've got this Bonza tip here, 810, fits no problem, nice and flush. So if you want to use your own tips, you absolutely can. And we have a nice bit of knurling right around the top section here to add some grip to this top cap. That's where you're going to be able to fill it. So you just unscrew that. Nice, fairly smooth threads, not the best, but not the worst. We've got an O-ring on the top cap here to prevent leaking, and you can see the two very spacious fill ports at the top with another O-ring in there. And hopefully you guys can see it's got kind of a funnel going on, so you can just kind of pour juice around this center hole here and it's just going to find its way down into the tank. And then we have the airflow control section right here at the top. It's got these little kind of ridges there to help with a little bit of grip, which is great. And you can just basically turn it, and it does have a stopper fully closed and fully open, just like that. Nice and wide bore as well, so you get a lot of airflow going through this thing, which is great. Also, one other thing about this top section, you can see the bore going through the middle there. Matches up nicely with the drip tip, so nice wide bore chimney. So towards the bottom here, you can see another little bit of knurling, which helps for taking the deck section out. You just want to unscrew it until it kind of pops out, just like that. And let's just show you how to remove this glass and replace it with a bubble. But before we do that, we'll show you the engravings. There's the Dead Rabbit logo right there. And on the opposite side, it's written Dead Rabbit on the kind of chimney section or top cap section. You can see where the air comes in from the top, which is really cool because it's very similar to the original Dead Rabbit RTA, where it comes right down from the top like that. And you can see a slight little chamfer on the top cap, kind of directing that airflow towards the drip tip, which is great. And let's just go ahead and pop our bubble glass on. Just as simple as that. It's just that easy. Here's the build deck with my build still in it. As you can see, I just did some simple little fuse Claptons in there. Nothing too crazy or fancy, but they are very effective. You can see how I wick this thing as well. You don't want too much wick in there. You've got to thin it out a little bit and stuff it in the little bottom section there so it wicks up properly, but you don't want that hanging too far below the actual threading right there. So just be aware of that. You want to trim it a little bit on the shorter side and make sure you thin it out. So this ought to be a fairly familiar sight to most of you guys out there. We have basically the Dead Rabbit RDA deck. You can see the space below the posts where you can clip your wire off nice and easy. You can see these screws on the outside there. These are the flat heads. And you can see the post holes up top here, which accepts almost any type of wire you can throw at it. So very nice, simple post setup here, similar to the original Dead Rabbit and very easy to build on. Right below there, you can see the wicking ports, which are fairly generous. Like I said, you have to thin out your wicks just a little bit there, but otherwise, it's a very easy deck to build on. And last but not least, we have the bottom of the RTA. Very subtle engravings on here, as you can see, designed by Heathen and Hellvape logo right there at the bottom. We also have a serial number right on the side and the gold-plated 510 pin. So that's all I've got for you guys in this little close-up section. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of this video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. Starting off with the pros, my first pro is the smoothness of the airflow. The airflow on this one feels very natural while you're vaping on it. It's very quiet as well, which is definitely a bonus there, and it's just kind of awesome that they maintain that sort of Dead Rabbit RDA style airflow where it comes in at an angle and then goes down, hits your coils, comes back up right through the chimney and out through the drip tip, and I absolutely just love that. My second pro for this device is that it has great flavor. The flavor on this thing is unparalleled in my opinion, and it really sets the bar high for anything else to even come close to it. And as far as I'm concerned, it's by far my favorite flavor RTA of all time. My third pro today is that it's easy to build. Just like its RDA counterpart, this thing is super simple to build. You just drop your coils in, you tighten them down, you trim off the excess, you pull up on them a little bit, wick it, and you're good to go. It's very, very simple to build this thing, and even simple to wick it as well. So I would recommend this one to pretty much any skill level out there. If you're just a beginner builder, you can definitely learn how to build and wick RTAs on the Dead Rabbit RTA. And my fourth and final pro for this device is that it has not only form, but also function. Everything that you see on the exterior of this device not only adds to the aesthetic, but also adds functionality as well. You have the bubble glass adding capacity, you have the airflow and airflow control ring doing its thing, and you have the knurling at the top and bottom helping with the grip so you can take off your top cap and fill it easier, or take your RTA off of your mod. I think it's a really good looking RTA, and the fact that everything that you see on the outside of this thing has a function is really just a bonus for me personally. Alright guys, so moving on to the cons, I really don't have a lot to say negatively about this device, but one thing that sticks out to me is the fact that you have to take it off of your mod in order to rebuild it or re-wick it, and that can get a little bit annoying. However, I can totally see why they had to do what they had to do with this one here, because otherwise the coils wouldn't line up with the airflow slots, and that would just cause a whole other set of problems. So with that, you kind of have to forgive them for that fact, but it is just a tad annoying. The only other thing I would really complain about is the fact that it is a screw-off top fill system, which also I can forgive because they made it kind of a funnel on the inside, which allows you to just kind of dump your juice in there and it finds its way into the tank no matter what you do. So I pretty much don't have anything majorly negative to say about the Dead Rabbit RTA, which I think is a first here on Daily Vape TV. So well done, Heathen, with this one. You were absolutely meant to make this device all along, and it is definitely my favorite device that you've ever made. So at the end of the day, is this device worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one in for review? Absolutely 100% I would buy one of these for myself, and if this one ever breaks, I will be sure to get another one in to replace it as soon as possible. But with that, if you're an RTA person out there, I would highly suggest you put the Dead Rabbit RTA right up at the top of your list. So if you guys want to purchase one of these for yourself, I'll have links on my website. Link to that will be right down there in the description below. But that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Leave your comments in the box below, and make sure you check out the advocacy and my social media links right down there in the description. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on.